The Middle of the Pack podcast.
Where runners, as a rule, want to train. They want to run. It's holding them back is the hard part.
Welcome to episode 23 with Kieran McKeown, a great conversation that we'll take up now, where we look at Kieran and where he started running and his early life story.
But I suppose like if we're talking about myself, my running started when I was very young, about 12, I think. I would have played hurling or football with the Bears. But I was always probably better running than with the ball, And I kind of started off cross-country track, started winning things kind of straight away, some sprinting, some longer distance races. But pretty much from the off, I was kind of had the natural talent for running. So I kind of progressed up then to being a good junior athlete, running fairly fast times, 350 for 1500 meters. I think I ran about 152 for 800 meters as a junior athlete, Went to America, hated it, came home after a while, was very homesick. This is going back 33 years ago. So it's a long time ago, long before we had Skype or FaceTime or anything,
So were you scouted or did you just go out yourself?
Yeah. No, you go on scholarship, So we would have went up to, usually what would have happened every year in the Northmont school, just by coincidences in Cork. So for the Dooley would always try to get the two best runners, some of the two maybe top runners in the country to try and win the schools cross country. So there was lots of a tradition there of people coming into the school to win, So I went up to the Man then for a year. That's after 6th year for the Dooley, and we pretty much won everything. We won the national cross country. I think I was second in the national 800 meter school. So David Matthews, who went on to run 3 Olympics and was the Cork fitness coach for a while under Jimmy Barry Murphy.
Yeah.
So would have kind of progressed there running wise. Road racing wise, I was always a track runner up to then. Always a track runner.
And short distance?
1500 meters. Maybe the odd. That time there was 3K races. That kind of stopped as the years moved, but there was a few 3K races when we were younger, and then it moved into 5K, But I never would eventually. I was a good cross country runner, At 18, I was top 10 the national senior cross country, but I would have been more concentrated on the track. Yeah. At 7, I can always remember I ran a road race at 17. First time I ever ran a road race in a pair of normal running shoes, which would be unheard of now. And it was a business house race, and I was 17, I think, and the season was over, so I just wanted to do a race. And I remember winning the road race, finished for a lap the Marley track in 14:54, and that was the first time at 17 I ran in the road with normal runners. Would you believe people are still running nowadays that race then, Mary Sweeney was there.
Yeah,
I think she was first. I think I won the men's race, and she was the first woman. So that's how many years? That's 38 years ago. It's a long time ago,
You're still running again.
Still running, yeah. There's a reason why I'm still running, but I missed a few years right in my 20s just with a lot of injuries. So that's tough. Like when you're injured, as you know yourself, it's tough,
Yeah.
Kind of learned a lot when I was injured. Kind of went into coaching full time then,
So what age were you when you started coaching then?
So I'm 52. I'm coaching full time, say as a full time profession, 20 years now, 21 years.
You started very young then.
Yeah. I changed careers. Careers before I would have worked in engineering and was involved in the union and stuff, So I always was used to dealing with people. So I started coaching full time, personal training, teaching Pilates classes, started coaching some runners and kind of progressed then from there, A lot of the work I did at the start would have been a lot of rehab work and based a couple of physio practices, So, and it would have been a lot of, I don't do personal training, say in the last 10 years, but the start of that, I did a lot of personal training, and then kind of more runners and more runners and more runners. But as you know, I'm involved in, in elite soccer as well. Like I work within the League of Ireland I'm in charge, again, about 20 years of all our elite referees in the country and in UEFA. So that's my other kind of thing that would take up a lot of time, So between being a full-time running coach, a full-time they all kind of work in together, teach Pilates, and then I coach within the FEI with the League of Ireland Referees. So it's all the same kind of work that I do, you know.
But is it fairly flexible? I mean, obviously your time is
Like,
always tight, but
yeah, like if anyone tells you like that, a coaching job is 7 days a week. It's 7 days a week. There is no off day, you know. When you're dealing with athletes, like, like I get back to everyone every day. So when you're dealing with athletes, it is like work is a 7 day week work, you know, but it is flexible. It is very flexible, you know.
and the faster they are, is it the more precious they get, or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around.
Um,
this is a true fact, right? It's easier to coach someone, say, to a 2:30 or 2:40 marathon than coach someone who's a beginner, because then there's a lot more needed, a lot more help, a lot more support, you know. Generally, with runners running at the higher level, they're easier because they have a lot more knowledge themselves as well, like, you know.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I learn from some of the runners I coach as well, you know.
So is there more pressure on you if you have more of an elite athlete, or is it more pressure having someone like me that's you want to get faster?
Well, there's no pressure, because like my job is to guide someone and give them the best advice, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
So like that's what my job is, to supply. It's not like anyone. You can get a training plan anywhere. You can download a training plan from ChatGPT. You can buy anything online, but the training plan is only a very small aspect of it. You know, the important part is support and believing in someone. You know, so like in your case, Patrick, like I'm going to push a bit more than maybe you push yourself.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
as you know too well, like I'm going to tell you that you're going to run the marathon 350, and then we'll work towards that, you know. So there's not real pressure. Like it's more that you just have to be support and you have to guide people. And the critical part, Patrick, with runners is to stop the madness, because all runners are
yeah.
mad. You know, it's this is where coaching comes in. Some people listen, maybe some people don't, but it's the madness. Like you know, it's people, like as I learn, like in the fitness industry, you're always learning it anyway. But like you have to be strict with athletes around a marathon. Like some want to run a 5K the week before, some want to do a park run, some want to do, you know, different stuff. But you have to be kind of stricter around a marathon block of training. You know, it's kind of more flexible when people are racing shorter distances. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's not really a pressurized job, but you've the other aspects. You know yourself. You're like me, like you run a business, so you've them pressures and aspects of working in that. But it's an enjoyable and it's a rewarding job coaching. You know,
And can I ask where the Cranky coach name came from? Because my experience, I always, every time I mention you, I always have to say, but he's not so cranky. He's
exactly.
not
Yeah.
cranky. So,
The cranky coach would have came actually from one of the runners there, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. One of the a very good athlete I coached, and Linda O'Sullivan, as she's known as the Galloping Granny. So when we were doing group sessions, I'd given out to her to pick up the pace. So she said, "Oh, very cranky," you know. So that's where that came from. It was just something, just to play on words, that kind of, it just kind of catched on, and that's
yeah.
where it came from, you know. So it was more a piss take, but it just stuck then, you know.
I remember first when I was with the Runners Diary and they said, I got Kieran McKeown, the cranky coach, and I was going, I don't really want a cranky coach. Like, I don't want someone being
Yeah.
cranky with me, but you never were. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you have to be at times stern with people as well, you know.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like, and generally runners, as you know yourself, like if I gave you 2 or 3 days off, you'd question me, why am I getting time off? You know,
yeah.
that's a huge thing. Runners want to train. It's where runners, it's generally holding a lead and then know when to lead go. You
But it's
know,
even funny this week, which will be last week when we're listening. You said only 4 days this week now, Padraig. I was gutted, like I was going,
yeah.
maybe I'll slot in another day myself, but I haven't done. I just did an extra day of
You
sleep.
see, it's probably one thing that we should be kind of training 3 hard weeks on, just an easier week off. You know, like the big aspect I have about coaching people is that they're still running in 20 years' time.
Yeah,
That it's not just gimmicky that, oh, we're going to run great times this year and then go the next year. So you're encouraging people to kind of keep running, you know.
And would you have a much different approach then to like a middle of the pack runner or an older runner or a slower runner
Uh,
when you,
no, I like, to be honest with you, like everyone who comes that want me to coach them, like they want to get better, you know. Like I have never really heard anyone who comes say, "Oh, I don't want to get any better," you know. So like the approach will be the same, but just maybe the load or the expectations of what they're going to do in the week is different, you know. So like if you have four young kids, you have to kind of factor that in as well. Like, you know, they're not going to be able to get to maybe races, or they're not maybe able to train longer miles and things, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So, and especially like I spend half my time trying to veer people away from the marathon for these reasons, you know. So the approach will always be the same. Everyone like it's support. It's with everything in life. Like it's just believing in someone and giving them the support, you know, and giving them the confidence, you know.
And I know for me, at that those words exactly right. Like I was using the Runner app prior to
Yeah.
using you, and it doesn't give you the confidence. It doesn't give you the morale boosting. It doesn't give you,
No.
that those simple questions. And that's what I find that, that you give far more than an app or something you download, it's just that.
But you can pick up the phone and ring someone and say, like, I'm pissed off today, I'm tired today, you know, work didn't go well. These are things that are important factors, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
having some, like, it's important coaching wise to have some sort of community as well, you know.
Yeah. The WhatsApp app group you have, when you introduced me to that, that's brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
and you get to know
Oh, yeah.
people and you haven't even
You
met
do.
them.
It's a social side as well, like, you know. And then there's always a turnover of runners over the years as well. So it's always good to have new people come in and things like, you know, and they add to the group then as well, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some messes, but then there's some very serious people as well.
There is just it's for all, like, but everyone really is like it's important that we have that there's some bit of community within it, and it's important that we have some sort of fun then as well, like, you know,
Absolutely.
because it's friendship, it's a hobby, you know, it's that side of things that is important as well, like, you know. But training with a group makes a massive difference, you know. Like one thing I have as a coach is like, say, if you're training with St. Finbarrs or you're training with Galway Harriers or a club in Thurles or somewhere where I coach people, is that, you know, I try to adapt the training to suit them. Like it's better to be at the club session, you know. So sometimes, you know, the training plan has to vary a bit because someone does a track session or does an interval session with their club. Like I encourage people to try and do stuff with their club, to try and stay in their club, or to try and do a session with people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if that's a little bit off plan, like it's better. You know, you're going to get more out of it, you know.
I I find I tend to run a little faster when I'm with people that are
Of course you will.
running. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But your budget, you go to a race, like, you know, like a race is the best thing you can ever do. A race is way better than a session,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But you're competitive, like you know, you can see yourself getting better. You can gauge yourself off people, like, you know.
And tell me, with yourself now, you're not retired as a runner because you're still running.
Yeah.
Are you always racing a race?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never go, I'm going to run a race next week and just look at the scenery and enjoy the crowd.
No. It wouldn't be in me to do it, you know. It's like, you know, if I go into a race, even now, say, like, at my best, I was running, say, for 4 miles, 19 minutes. No, I was in Clonmel on Stevens's day, and I was just under 22. So there's a big, no, bear in mind, 30 years ago, we didn't have vapor flies, so we would run a lot faster, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I still go to race to run the best I can, you know.
And
It's
is
like,
is it a built-in super competitiveness, or is it just that you've always been fast, so you just want to be fast?
no,
You know?
I just want to do my best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, no, if I pace people in races, like you know, it's good. It's good to pace people. Like I probably ran races over the years with people like coach and things to bring them on a little bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But races, like it's like I tell people, like if you're going to play in a soccer match, you're not going to take it easy, like, you know.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
so like our sport is the same. No, people do like racing, but I would be of the belief myself personally that you go to race.
Yeah.
You know, and some people, like, it's important to remember that, like, this is where some people forget that race fitness takes a while to come. You have to be racing, you know, like if you look at all the best results, even at the cock runners, there's some fantastic runners who've improved massively, but they're racing regularly, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was just reading something there from a good friend of ours, Paul Cashman from Warraghassel. And Paul has come on. No, I don't coach Paul, but Paul is in a men's group we have. Paul has come on massively this year, but I think he raced 28 times. No, they're all like from 10 miles down, you know.
Yeah.
But like, so he's racing every second week. That's ideally what you need to race to improve. Now, you do need periods where you recover, you know. Now, again, I'm not specifically talking about marathon. If you're doing a marathon block, it has to be stricter. You're not going to be racing like that. But for generally, like for 5Ks, 4 miles, 5 miles, 10-mile race, you do need race fitness. So you do need to be racing regularly, you know?
I've actually enjoyed, since coming out of Dublin, I've enjoyed doing the shorter session races and doing a little bit of speed work and pickups. I love doing pickups. I don't know what it is.
But they're just activating your fast twitch muscles, you know?
Yeah.
But see, the thing about running a shorter race is, look, things go wrong at times. If the race goes wrong, you can do another one the following week. The hard thing about the marathon is like that it's all on one day, you know? It's all on one day. So like if you spend 3 months training for Dublin and you get COVID the week before or you get sick the week before, which happens to a lot of people because you're really on the limit when you're training for these events, you know?
Yeah.
So it can be, that's the downside of it. Marathon is fantastic. It's a huge achievement, you know? Coaching wise, professionally, like people are probably going from 0 to 5Ks and they want to do a marathon within 3 or 4 months after, and I'm saying, geez, like, build up slowly. Because like if we take, say, Barry Tuig, who's in our group, who's about 2:30 marathon runner, if you're running 3 hours 40 for a marathon and he's running 2 hours 30, he's a third less on his legs for all the training sessions and everything. So there's that aspect of it you have to be very careful of as well, you know?
Yeah. But even the little things that you introduced to me that I would have done a lot less. Like if I was doing a 5K race, I'd have probably just warmed up for 300 meters. I might have ran, but you know what I mean? And then when you came along, you're going 3-mile warm up and a 3-mile cool down. And I was going, jeepers, I'm nearly running a 5K before I start. Well, I am.
You are?
You know?
Yeah.
And I always, the cool down is the one that always confused me. What's that for? Or why are we doing that?
So you're like in every, like I work a lot in soccer, work a lot in sport, every aspect of sports, we prepare our body for the race or the match, and then we take it back down after, you know. Say like I coach the under 12s girls in Riverstone, they'll be 25 minutes, 30 minutes warming up before the match starts we'll have SAQ drills, they'll have the soccer drills, you know. So you're preparing your body for it. So it's a pulse raiser, you know. If you go to any type of class, you're doing that beforehand. So you're preparing your body. We're older. The longer cool downs come as we're older. So when we're getting rid of all the toxins from our body after we're running easy, our body is just loosening out, you know. Movement, project movement is the key, you know.
And is it right to change shoes after your race if you're wearing carbon plates, or is that just another myth?
No, so it is like, so there's a mental aspect of it and a physical aspect of it, okay? So if we go to, say we're racing, say you went to the race to Toker AC 5K, okay?
Yeah.
You would warm up in your normal shoes. They're heavier.
Yeah.
Okay? You probably have your running pants on, your top, okay? And you're warming up. You're in a different mindset. You're warming up your body. You're preparing for it. Change into your fighting gear, racing gear, the lighter shoes on, the carbon fiber shoes on, your pants is off, you're in your singlet, like you wouldn't warm up in your singlet. Do your race, you're flat out. It's a different mindset. You're switching, you know?
Yeah.
And then when you're finished, you're switching back again. So you're going to be, like, I've tried this a lot, like you're going to be more sore cooling down with your carbon fiber shoes than your normal shoes because you're up more on your toes. And they're not designed, like a cool down might be at 9-minute pace or 8:30 pace. They're not designed for that type of running. They're designed for when you're running faster. That's when they're more efficient, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how we would do a session, a speed session and a race. And 90% of runners will follow that, you know. We tend to do longer cool downs because we're just older. It just loosens the body out more, so you're recovering.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you will
but
be sore, like you will be sore after a race, so you're just bringing your body status back down again. You know,
yeah, but I've definitely felt the benefit of it. But even in
huge.
the warm ups, like, yeah, you're more ready to go then, aren't you? Like,
Yeah, but
ready.
it's like as if you go down to see Cork City, right? They don't come out in their jerseys and shorts and warm up before the game. They're in their training gear, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
and then they go back to the dressing room, they switch back out and they're back out again. It's the mindset of it as well. Now, again, it's a bit contradictive, like, because if we were training for a marathon, like, I don't want guys doing 3 miles, changing their shoes, doing 16 miles, changing their shoes, and doing another 3 miles. So in the marathon training, we kind of change that for the longer runs. We probably, if we're wearing carbon fiber shoes for some of the rest, they'll probably just go through the whole run with it because you
yeah,
don't want the aspect of it stopping, starting, stopping, starting,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
See, there's a
Oh,
lot to running. Now, running is the simplest sport you can do. It's literally go in a straight line. You don't have to catch a ball. You don't have to pick up a ball. You don't have to worry about a teammate. You don't have to worry about tactics, passing, jumping. But we can make it easier. But some people like overthink it as well, and that's a big thing. Just remember, running is the easiest thing you can do.
yeah.
It
I think
literally is.
everybody
Yeah.
is, as you said, everybody's striving to do better, aren't they? Really. So
Yeah.
therefore,
Oh
then,
yeah, but like I just think that like 90% of the people I would talk to about coaching, they want to do better. People can like it doesn't matter age, you can still run PBs at any age.
well, like I've written down because I just wanted to kind of big you up in from my own personal point of view.
Yeah,
Like before started with you, my PB in a 5K was 26, and in a
yeah,
year it's gone down to 24. So like that's 2 minutes. The 10K was 54, and it's gone down to 50. The 10 mile was 139 and it's gone down to 130. The half marathon's gone down from 159 to 151. And when I joined you, I wanted to do a 4.5 hour marathon and I did 4:14 in Cork and 4:01
yeah, in
in
Dublin.
Dublin.
But they're going to come like if we're looking for if for yourself personally, they're going to come massively down this year.
Yeah.
You know, they will
If I,
like of course they will. They'll come massively down this year.
and is that you pushing me or me just continuing as I am?
And just kind of a bit of both, like when you see the cranky side now.
All right. So yeah, the first year you
So
were just,
as like as long like my thought about training is as long as you're climbing the ladder, you're doing fine.
yeah, yeah,
You know, like it's better just to step one step at a time.
absolutely. Yeah.
And there's like you need to then maybe sometimes we train hard, we do everything right, and we don't run PBs, especially if your PBs are achievable. Then it can be the aspect of is your training going right? Are you getting the sessions in? I know it's with a lot of people, it's iron levels are low. Are they fueling properly? Are they sleeping? It's a big thing with sleeping. Like, a lot of runners, especially with very young kids, with babies, with 3 or 4 kids, sleep is a big, big problem from. So their
Yeah.
bodies are not recovering. So they're like, when things don't always go right, a coach will help you when things go wrong, you
Yeah.
know, or injuries, people like, injuries are like a lot running because it's repetitive sports.
And strength conditioning is really important for that too, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
hugely important.
Which,
I think the number one most important thing is that you have access to a good physio. So we're very lucky that like say one of the best physios in Cork is Brian Fox, who's in our group, who I coach, and he's a wealth of knowledge.
yeah,
That you have someone that you can work to. I worked in physio practice myself for on and off for 10 years. I did a lot of rehab there. So there's some brilliant physios in the Blackpool physio and Carrigaline physio clinic like that. These people are very good, and they have access to if you need a scan. Because things do go wrong. Things do go wrong.
yeah, yeah. And it's trusting
Yeah.
them as well, though, isn't it? Being able to talk to them and let them know
Yeah.
exactly where the
But it's
niggles
it's
are.
like it's like if I went to Brian Fox, I don't even need to tell him because he already know. I mean, but he know the knowledge. He knows what's going on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's a runner himself as well. Like, so I think that's vitally important.
And
It's the strength and it's the strength and conditioning, and the lack of mobility is a huge thing. Especially as we get older.
a lack of ability
Mobility.
causes injury.
I think the lack of mobility is a massive thing where people are just tighter, the movement is not there, and something builds from that, you know.
And is
And
that why?
again, the marathon training, like, I don't do marathons, you know, and I train people for marathons, of course, but I don't do marathons. So it's probably one thing that's kept me running longer at a good level, you know.
So you reckon it's the wear and tear from a marathon isn't a good thing, or doing too many isn't a good
No,
thing?
no, it's like marathon. Like, I would be a big believer, like, for someone who's running a marathon, maybe, you know, under 245, maybe 2 marathons a year is enough, you know, because that's 2 blocks of maybe 14 weeks of training. That's half
Yeah,
of the year already into that, you know, and you are running high miles. You are running 20 miles, 18 miles, 16 miles most weeks, you know, like if you're running 4 hours, it's longer. It's longer on your legs, you know.
yeah, yeah. I
You
enjoyed
know?
the Cork block. The Dublin block just got a little bit tedious near the end,
Yeah,
but then the Dublin race was fabulous. Like,
it is. And it is like, but see, the big day, like, there is nothing like the big day in a marathon, and nothing like the big day in Cork or in Dublin and things, you know.
yeah.
Um, but you just need to be sensible. This is where the coaching comes in. You need to be sensible around it, you know.
And if people want to get in touch or be part of the Kieran McKeown, are you full up for the
Uh,
year, or are you still?
no, no, people can contact me, and if someone wants to get better and wants to get improve themselves and want to have a little bit of a crack along the way and things, you know, just give me a ring or a text and things, and we can have a chat, you know.
So yeah, so you're still taking people on.
Yeah, there's a few. I think we have about, I must go through the final numbers, but there's a certain number I can take for the year, just just to give the quality of service, you know. And
Yeah,
when I'm coaching people, like, as I say, it is a 7 day a week. It is a 7 day a week. It is like, it is a Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you know. How I send out training plans, it's a training plan is not a piece of paper with a month's training. It doesn't work, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's a lazy way of coaching. The best way, like most coaches I would know, most of the coaches in Cork, we have some very good coaches in Cork. They will, you get your plan once a week and you work off that then once a week. Something goes wrong, we can correct it fairly fast. You know, coaching is a two-way thing, so it's important that you get feedback from the runners as well. You know, so we use Strava, I use Garmin for that. But runners will tend, if you send someone a month's plan, they'll tend to run away with themselves a bit. So week to week,
yeah,
no,
yeah. I
I
found
have a
like
kind of, yeah, week to week is 100% perfect, you
I
know?
when because I was used to the Runner app, I was used to be able to looking ahead, and as you say, you're into week two before you're even doing week one.
Right,
And
already looking at week 4, and then I put this in there and I move that around there and
yeah,
things, you
yeah,
know?
and
Like, I'm a big believer, 7 days a week. If you miss a day, you just move to the next day. You don't backtrack, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Generally, with the runners I coach, if they're sick for a session, we just skip and move on, you know?
yeah. But I
You
think
know?
that is the advantage of having a coach, is that you can just send a message going, not feeling well today, not up for
Yeah.
today, and you let it go.
And then we rest. Runners by nature want to train. So when they want to rest, they rest.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's not forcing. Like, there's maybe a few people, like, but there's very few people you coach who won't train. They want to train. You know.
absolutely.
In other sports, it's slightly different. Like, I work a lot basketball as well. Like, you know, they can be a little bit different in different sports. You know, but runners, as a rule, want to train. They want to run. It's holding them back is the hard part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know. You know.
I'm guilty of that myself. But listen, we are coming to the end, and I
No
know
problem, Patrick.
I've read out all those times. The improvement that I've seen working with you is amazing, and I thank you for coming on anyway and giving me your time, because I know you're very
No problem,
busy.
Patrick.
And we'll talk to you soon. And that's Kieran McKeown, aka the Cranky Coach, and as I always say, the not so cranky coach. Although maybe I will see a crankier side this year if he's pushing me harder. And thanks to Kieran for coming on, and I do hope you enjoyed that episode I know I certainly did. So yeah, you can tune in on all the social media platforms at the Middle of the Pack podcast. But for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.